You okay? Well, thank you, and good evening, everyone. What I would like to do today is give you just a little bit of an overview of where we've been with Canvas and where we're going with Canvas over the next year. So to begin with, I'd like to just kind of refresh everyone's memory and inform our new friends in terms of why it is we introduced Canvas at the high school to begin with. And I pulled the rationale from our original program improvement plan, which I think was from 2015-16. And really what we were looking to do with the implementation of Canvas at the high school was to provide us with a robust system with multiple functionalities that would support cyber learning, blended learning opportunities, would create a consistency and uniformity for students, parents, and teachers in terms of our online presence and digital access to materials for our students. We were really trying to create a consistent platform with the integration of Canvas. And finally, what we were really trying to do as well was to begin to develop a platform that could be used, at least at the secondary level, to help facilitate professional learning. So a home base for professional learning materials for our staff. So those were our three primary goals early on with our Canvas implementation. And through the presentation, I think you'll see how we've begun to really fulfill all those goals in the last few years. So to begin with, to refresh everyone's memory, when we began with Canvas with our implementation, we began with a series of pilot teachers in the 2015-16 school year in the spring. They worked through with their classes. They really were the initial people who were trained on the system, and then they became our key turn trainers when we began to expand into the 16-17 school year. At the end of the 15-16 school year, teachers were completing a beginner and an intermediate training course. One of the great things about a system like Canvas is we can not only use it, we can have our teachers use it as students. So as they were learning the system as a student, they were learning how they could implement it in their classroom, but they were also getting that experience that their students would be having. So it's a multifaceted training. With that training that we did in June of 2016, it was the first time we really introduced a truly tiered system of professional development. Teachers had some choice in how they wanted to complete those training courses. They could either complete them completely independently, it was all housed on Canvas for them. They could also complete it with the support of one of those pilot teachers, or they could complete it with more direct instruction with me or another tech integrator. So teachers got to choose their comfort level and get the support that they needed, and we found that to be a really successful method, and we've continued to use that strategy with later trainings. When we began with Canvas in 16-17, we had 4 goals for our teachers. And they were to post a daily agenda, and today in class we did this. They are to put due dates on the calendar, have a syllabus provided in Canvas, so there's the course information available right within Canvas, and then to upload handouts to make sure, as possible, as appropriate, to upload materials into Canvas for student distribution. During this time, our teachers had access to some ongoing support. That included having me as a tech integrator in the CAP room, the Cyber Access Point room in the high school. So I was there not only to support our growing cyber program and our cyber students, but also there as a resource person for high school teachers as they were learning Canvas. I began the Friday 5 blog, which is a twice-a-month blog that features 5 tips on a Friday, typically related to Canvas. We had the use of Canvas be modeled not only by me in our trainings, but also by high school administrators and department supervisors. They began to use courses to distribute information to their faculty. And then we often had Canvas sessions during select district level or building level, I should say, professional development days. As we moved into year 2 in 17-18, we continued with those first year goals. We got a little smarter with some of our use of Canvas, and we really tried to get teachers to adopt the concept of modules and the use of modules to organize course materials. So that was really our focus of year 2. And at that point, we had the same ongoing support going on. I was still in the CAP room, still the Friday 5 blog, and we had the modeling going on as well. So we expected proficiency in those first-year goals from teachers and extended to the use of modules to organize course materials. Now in year 3, we are looking for the demonstration of consistent implementation of the year 1 and year 2 goals. We are really working to get teachers to be more comfortable collecting and grading work in Canvas. With our statistics, we have about 50% of teachers who are collecting work at the high school through Canvas, really trying to kind of encourage some of those more reluctant teachers to explore collecting work and really learning how that can create a more efficient workflow for both them and their students. So one of our goals for this year is to collect and grade work at least one time a marking period. And then teachers were able to create a self-created goal. So for example, some teachers are looking into mastery pathways, a way within modules where you can set a pre-test and then work is released to students based upon how they score on a pre-test. We have some teachers who are looking to use discussions more within their classes. We have some teachers who would like to learn how to embed more videos into their courses in Canvas. So we've allowed teachers to really reflect upon their personal teaching style, their personal comfort level, and also what's appropriate for the subject that they're teaching. So that's been a self-created goal. Continuing with support, we have all of the same things, still in the CAP room sometimes, so I'm there. We have the Friday 5 blog, and we again will have Canvas sessions and select building professional learning days. Overall, 3 ways that I think we can see that the use of Canvas has really benefited the high school come down to communication, our growing cyber program, and really with our clubs at the high school as well. In terms of communication, outside of just having your course, where you're getting course material information for your social studies course, your math course, your English course, we also have each grade level with a class of course. So today and last week and tomorrow, I was explaining to the freshmen that they have the class of 2022 course, and that course stays with the students for all 4 years. And that course is used primarily by guidance to provide some career and college planning materials to students, just an access point for information as a freshman. What are some of the things you can start thinking about as you are planning for your future? So it's utilized by them, but it's utilized as well by assistant principals, by class advisors, by yearbook, to give out any kind of important information that's targeted for a grade level. So it's a really neat opportunity. It's really, I like when I hear the announcements, check your class of course for information on signing up for this event through student council. So it's a place where everyone knows they can go to get the materials that they need that are appropriate for their particular grade level. Clubs are also finding the use of Canvas as an effective way to communicate information. Many clubs will make a course for their club, and then the club advisors will invite the students in, the members in as students into that course. So it's a great way to provide information about upcoming events. And what's great about it is students are already in Canvas looking at their course materials, so they find out about their club activities at the same time. 3 clubs that I know use it really well are Mini-Thon, Key Club, and Ski Club. But I think the Yarn Club, the Knitting Club has a course. A lot of clubs are using courses as a way to give consistent access of information to students, so that's great. And finally, with the cyber program, Canvas has really helped us in terms of building materials to be able to start to support some of our own cyber or blended classes. In the 16-17 school year, we began with our cyber PE course. That originally began as a 12th grade choice for a full year PE course. This year, with the switch in structure of PE at the high school level, it is now a semester-based course offered in the fall and the spring, and it's open to 11th and 12th graders. And that class is completely functioning within Canvas, supported by the polar bands that the students get as well to track their fitness. But that is a full running course taught by one of our PE teachers and taught through Canvas. We have our Cyber SAT Prep course, which is offered as a semester-based course or a full year course that fits in during student study halls, essentially, and students can take that course as an option. We run that through Canvas with the help of Khan Academy. And then this year, very excited to work with 2 teachers who are working in our blended capable sections pilot. We have a world history course and a world literature course that have 3 seats that are designated for our cyber students. And through the use of Canvas, the teachers are able to modify work that they're using in their face-to-face class, with their face-to-face students in that class, and they're able to modify it to use with our cyber learners. So that's a great way to start to use Canvas to become less dependent or be less dependent on third-party providers. So I'm really excited to have our students have teachers who are here who they can come see at the building and meet and be a part, more of a part of the Penridge community through our online program. So that's an exciting pilot that we're venturing into this year. As we move forward with the access of more technology at the middle school, to create some vertical consistency, we this year are introducing Canvas at the middle school. And what we're looking for here is, again, that flexibility, offering a versatile learning platform for our teachers. We're trying to offer consistency as well. And we're also, again, building our capacity to support 21st century learning, whether it's through regular face-to-face classes or within our cyber and blended program, but having that consistency 6 to 12 with the access of Canvas at the middle schools. As far as our implementation methods for Canvas at the middle school, our teachers, middle school teachers, began using Canvas for professional development purposes within our pathway program and within individual departments through courses set up within Canvas there. The middle school teachers last year were encouraged to explore Canvas Free for Teachers, and we had some teachers in each building who did take a look at Canvas Free for Teachers, the free version of Canvas, to develop some familiarity with it. Our beginning training for Canvas for our middle school teachers began in June of 2018 with the beginner's course. I had a whole team of fantastic high school teachers who helped provide some direct instruction to those teachers who needed that support. So that was fantastic. I couldn't have done it without them. So we were able to, again, do that model of the 3 tiers of instruction where teachers could choose to complete the course on their own with the help of a high school teacher or with the help of a tech integrator. So that worked really well. Our more advanced training for Canvas took place on the June Trade Day through another self-directed course within Canvas that I created. Teachers made their way through that. Many teachers completed that trade day in June. Those who didn't will complete it in January, but have access to all of that material to help them become proficient in Canvas. As we move into our use of Canvas at the middle schools this year, we gave our middle school teachers 3 goals, 3 very achievable goals for our first year. That is to put due dates on the calendar. The second goal is to utilize modules for organizing course materials. And the third is to utilize a consistent middle school homepage. One of the things the middle school is benefiting from is the fact that we've kind of learned some things with our implementation at the high school. And one of the things that we learned is that even though all of the teachers are using Canvas, they use it all a little bit differently. So we thought for our middle school students, especially beginning, that it would be nice if every course that they go into has a consistent uniform homepage. So that template has been provided to the teachers so that every course looks essentially the same and is set up the same way. So students will become very comfortable very quickly figuring out how to access materials within their courses. Included on that consistent middle school homepage is a link to a student guide. So on every homepage there's a guide that students can open and see that helps them remember how to navigate the system. So they have quick access to resource material as well with that homepage. In terms of our support for our middle school teachers, they will have access to tech integrators, myself included, by appointment or during team meetings, and I already have lots of appointments lined up, so I'm excited about that. They'll have access to the Friday 5 blog that the high school teachers have had for Canvas. They are also seeing Canvas modeled by either building administrators or by supervisors. And they will also have access to Canvas sessions during select professional development days. They'll have very similar access to support that the high school teachers had in our implementation beginning days here. Looking forward, what I'm hoping to see is that by the end of year 2, year 3, that we have numbers that at the middle school that look like the numbers I'm showing you up on the screen now in regards to the high school. What this is our year-end stats from last year at the high school. And we can see that there were 265 courses, 131 teachers with those students, and what that is showing is actually full year courses. It's not even showing semester courses, so that might be why the student number looks low to you. 13,000 assignments, 4,000 discussion topics, 36,000 files uploaded, and 582 media recordings. So we had about an average of 100,000 page views in Canvas a week over the school year in the full year courses. That's really showing us it's being utilized, that it's being used within the classroom with that many views. So what we're really looking forward to is we're looking forward to the middle school students and teachers being able to experience the benefits that the high school teachers have seen and the students have seen in terms of course organization, consistency, and access through our implementation of Canvas. So I went through a lot of information pretty quickly with you, so I would like to see if you have any questions.
Ms. Gersh,
Yes.
can you comment further on this blended cable issue or pilot that you're doing? You said there were 3 seats in each of the 2 courses that are being offered.
Right.
How was the decision made to choose 3 seats, and are they completely filled, and how are they filled?
So there are 3 seats, they are completely filled. We chose 3 students who were already in our program and where we had kind of a group of students who were going to need the same course. So we didn't want to put one student in this course, one student in that course. So we had a grouping who all needed the same course. Those are students who have experience in online learning. They've been doing it for 2 or 3 years, so they have a lot of experience in terms of what it takes to be a successful online learner. The number 3 was agreed upon with the teachers. Dr. Shaw, you were involved in that number determination. That was the agreed upon number.
Yes, and we did speak with the teachers to try to figure out what would be reasonable. And 3 students to start, we thought was fair, and we wanted to make sure, obviously, that it would be successful. So we had 2 teachers work over the summer to expand their course to include our blended learning students. So those blended learning students, we were paying for courses through Apex or K-12. We took those courses that we were paying for, we no longer are, and the teachers built those into their system, so into their classroom. And I'd really like to applaud them as well. They've been working very hard on that. We reviewed that today. So the number 3 really is taking a look at the students that we had to work with who had similar course needs and the reasonableness of a start for teachers.
So then what those teachers are doing is as Dr. Shai just said, they're taking what they would be doing with their typical classroom and students in their classroom, and they're modifying and adjusting to provide it in a way that is appropriate for a student who's not in the classroom and provide it through their Canvas course. And what's great about it is then when they are doing certain discussions, the online learners can actually be interacting with the face-to-face learners as well. So we're really trying to make sure that our online learners feel like they're a part of our Pembridge community.
First of all, I hope Kelly had a good first week.
She did.
Awesome. What kind of feedback have you gotten at the high school level from teachers and students and parents as you've rolled out Canvas over the couple of years?
There have been highs and there have been lows, to be honest, but some of the best feedback I've gotten are from teachers who are very resistant, saying, I don't want to do this, I don't want to learn something new. Resistant as well, because like when you learn really anything new, the beginning's the hardest, and the first year is the hardest, uploading materials into Canvas, deciding how best to use the interface is something that teachers struggled with in the beginning. But by year 2, when they saw the real fruits of their initial labor and the fact that their course material was already there and now they can just tweak and improve, we really got a lot of buy-in and a lot of very happy teachers. And their teachers are really seeing how this is a more efficient system and is a system that is helping to free them up so that they can do things like give more positive feedback on assignments. So there, a lot of the minutia, the paper shuffling that they had to do in the past has been taken away. Students have, especially the students who remember the days when we didn't have consistency, the students who remember when they had some classrooms on Google Classroom, some on Edmodo, some on Moodle, some who didn't use anything at all. Those students really appreciated the fact that we had that consistent platform. There was one place to look to see what was happening across the board in your classes. Some of the feedback we've gotten from students is, and this is where we've applied it to the middle school, is everybody's using Canvas, but everybody's using it a little bit differently. So I get confused about how my math teacher is using it versus my English teacher. So we've been responsive to things like that. That's part of the reason why we have that uniform homepage for the middle school students. And also something that I neglected to mention in terms of goals for this year, every high school teacher this year in their syllabus on Canvas has a section that says, this is how we're using Canvas in this class. Something so simple, but just that if a student is confused about how is this teacher using announcements, they can go to that syllabus page and they can read right within there how it is being used in that classroom. So students like the consistencies, teachers like the consistency and the ease of transferring materials from one year to the next. Parents, we've been pushing the parent observer accounts. I don't get many questions from parents about how to establish their observer accounts. I don't get many questions about how to utilize the observer account. I think parents like it, as the students do, that the students have a consistent place to go and have a set place to look for course materials. So I think overall, just by the page views alone, it's a product that gets used. And that makes me happy. I think it's a good investment as a district and good investment for our students.
I'm not surprised to hear the feedback you received from the teachers, because I was really impressed when you talked about the differentiated model you had to kind of allow teachers to learn it at their pace. And those who are ready to go further, you gave them the platform to do that, which then becomes the example for their colleagues and things like that, as well as the number of times you said professional development or modeling over the course of this presentation just speaks a lot to what it has to look like for the teachers and the emphasis you've put on that. So thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate all your hard work, and I appreciate the professional development piece as well. I think that's really important, and I love how reflective you are as this goes forward with making sure that there's appropriate changes to keep things going in a positive direction. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're back to public comment.
Sue Furlong, West Rock Hill Township. I want to make something real clear before I make my remarks. I've always been in support of adding technology to the classroom. I think it's important for the students, especially in today's job market. And so I don't want any of this to be taken as a criticism or concern about introducing technology to the classroom. However, mine is more of a process concern. For instance, there's a lot of things that were discussed tonight that I think are great ideas, but I heard the remark that we want to get started, we're waiting for the budget to get approved. The way I have always understood something is that just because it's in your budget and the budget is approved is not the same as approving the project. That has to be done in addition to approving the budget. The budget is a guideline, it's not approval for the rest of the year. And although most of these ideas, if not all of them, are great ideas, I don't remember a many of them, number of them being specifically approved at board meetings. For instance, like the two teachers who worked during the summer to replace the cyber content. Was that approved at a board meeting? I don't recall it. My memory's not perfect, but I don't recall that expense being approved. I don't recall some of the hardware that's going into the middle school and the elementary schools being approved. Not saying it's not a great idea, but there's a process. It's beyond the budget. You need to present it and say how you're deciding how to buy that hardware. Is it through bidding, co-stars, that type of thing. You're buying hardware, it's not a service. I know I'm over my 3 minutes and I'm making all of you all nervous, but I'm just telling you, approval of the budget is not approval of your project. And we need to make sure that the board is supervising these purchases, these hiring decisions, changes in how education is delivered, cyber versus not cyber. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Furlong. Okay, anyone else? All right, our next meeting is scheduled for October 8th.